From the track where grassroots racing lives at the Concord Speedway in Concord, North Carolina, we welcome you to live coverage of the XCAL Racing $5 Tuesday Series. Don't be jelly, XCAL's at the Concord 350, and it should be a good one as we near the halfway point in the 2022 season. Good evening, friends. Marty Sakala with you on How to Suck at iRacing alongside Doug Burns, who is manning the cameras in studio. Doug, we've got an exciting one. We are pretty much at the mini version of the Tricky Tri-Oval. Heat races were excellent last night, and from what they provided, we should be in for a great treat.
Yeah, just from what I heard from those races, talking to some of the Jones guys last night, talking to some of the others, those heat races were exciting. This track, when you put this many cars on this track, even when you put the smaller cars like a 34 Legends here or a Tour Mod, it gets exciting, but this is going to be even more exciting as they go full send around here with 40 plus street stocks. It's going to be an interesting night.
Yeah, here's how exciting everything was. In every heat race, we would have a brand new pole sitter in order from heats 1 to 5. Austin Edwards is on pole position. We'll talk with him later on today. If you missed us last week, we had another great race take place at South Boston Speedway. Luke Turpin taking the win, holding off Jonathan Bronson in a thrilling finish, going to the end in the single digits. A couple of storylines we are watching here closely as we enter tonight. We begin things off and talk about Blake Wynn, the Bear Poker. Blake, you were on an amazing start at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but in the last few races, it's been a downward spiral, and you've even lost some respect for your peers out there on the track. How tough has it been in these last few weeks?
It's just been a struggle to get the setup right. I haven't really had a setup good on either end of the run, so I've just been struggling to keep up on the long and the short run, which is hard because usually I'm either good on the short or the long run, and I just haven't had quite the time to make the car as fast as I could.
Jeff Edgar, though, has been helping you out with your setups. One of the best setup guys out there on the XCAL Street stocks. But you started in 14 today. You were able to qualify your way into the top 3 in one of the heat races. What are you expecting in the race and in the top half of the field?
I think there's going to be some rough racing, probably a wreck or two early on, and then I know the end will just be mayhem. It just depends who gets there.
Good luck tonight, Blake.
Thank you.
That's Blake Wynn in the number 99, starting from position number 14 in tonight's race. There's been another driver from one end, the other end, that's been able to make his way up through the field, and that is the driver of the number 6, Zach Edwards. Zach, let's talk about how you've been the last few weeks. You were the first driver to qualify through the top 15, but how much fun have you been having in these last few weeks in XCAL?
Yeah, it's definitely been an improvement, to say the least. You know, these deals, this is like best of the best here, so you got to really be on your stuff. I found every way to possibly lose one of these things, so maybe we'll pull one out here today.
Absolutely. You're starting from 16th position. What do you think it's going to take to get a win?
Definitely just keep your car clean. This is going to be a race of attrition. Can't beat yourself up. Stuff's going to happen, of course, but we'll just see where we end up at the end.
Good luck tonight, Zach.
Thank you.
That's Zach Edwards in the number 6, who is starting from position number 16. Another big storyline here has been Joe Campbell, who has pretty much the conglomerate of XCAL Racing when it comes to teams. He has a lot of different cars in the field. Joe, I want to begin with, what are the big challenges of owning an XCAL Racing team?
Well, I mean, it gets a little difficult, Marty, but, I got to tell you, I've got 2 other owners involved with it that they really make the situation a lot easier. They take a good portion of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and take care of that for me. So, huge shout-out to Danielle Sargent and Justin Plummer. I couldn't do it without them there. They're amazing. It is a lot to it, 10 cars is a lot to handle some weeks, man.
Looking at on your team side of things, you're currently 18th on that side of things in your own team. Just what have the struggles pretty much been like in these last few weeks for the cars that you own?
Well, I can tell you, I mean, last week it was just me making a move that I thought one of my drivers was on board with. We didn't communicate in chat, so it was just me assuming, and it really hurt both of us. You know, and we've had some bad luck, you know, guys just making mistakes that have really cost, you know, a lot of time in the pits, and once you get that down, you know, there's not really much you can do unless everybody else tears their cars up. And you know, the XCAL being what it is, you don't get that a lot. There's a lot of good drivers in here, and it's tough, you know. So once you put yourself in the hole, man, but we're coming back now. We're hopefully gonna turn that all around starting this week.
Joe Campbell tonight starting from 24th position. Good luck, Joe.
Thank you, Marty.
And that's Joe Campbell. Let's talk with our pole sitter tonight in Austin Edwards. Austin, you got the pole through heat number 5 when the track temp was down. What are you expecting tonight in this race?
Well, it's going to be a lot different than the heat, Marty. We are dealing with a much colder racetrack than before, so we've got a lot of guys thrashing on their race cars trying to find a good balance here, and we're feeling all right. We're not having the long run speed we want in this little test session here, but we're going to work with it and change some stuff mid-race and hope it all works out.
You've got a near 200-point lead on Luke Turpin. Turpin luckily was able to turn that down in the points after his win at South Boston. We spoke with him last week about the battle between you and Luke. Let's get it from your perspective. How much fun have you been having going up against Luke Turpin this season?
Oh, well, you know, a good challenge is always fun, Marty. He's probably the best competition you're going to find in street stock, so going up against one of the best is always a good time, and doing all right so far. I think just having the consistency we've had and staying out of trouble has been our main player into getting that points lead, but I think we got the speed to show that we should be able to hopefully maintain that, or at least not lose it all by the end of the season here.
Austin, good luck tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Austin Evers, your pole sitter in tonight's race. Let's break down this race here for you tonight, Doug. We've got a 350-lap race. Pit window should be just about 70 to 90 laps. Fuel cap, though, is set tonight, as it is set coming on in, 30%. And this is going to be a race full of patience tonight all around here, Doug, because leaders are going to be catching up to lap traffic, I think, in my opinion, quicker than they do previously, because, you know, that we've got 34 pit stalls here on a small surface.
Well, you're talking, you know, under or just at 0.4 of a mile triangle. The straightaways all bank differently. The corners all bank differently. Different radius. Everything is different, and a lot of setup tricks out there can help, but you cannot tune the car to take all 3 corners the way you want it. You have to give up somewhere. It comes down to a question of where the drivers have given up and how much they're going to give up.
Should be a fun one tonight, that is for sure. As we are set to go, let's meet the field of 34 as we're set to take the green. On the pole is Austin Edwards. Next to him is Travis Sukup. That's the front row. Austin Edwards pole time a 16:9:57. Only driver to hit the 16:9s. Row number 2, Jonathan Bronson, coming off a win a couple weeks ago with Devin Landry next to him. Row 3, Jeff Edgar with perhaps his best starting spot of the year, and Matt Bear. Row 4, Matthew Brinson and James Johnson, some of their best starts of the season. Rounding out the top 10 is Edmund Jones and Mason Foster. Last week's winner, Luke Turpin, starting in the 11th position. Risky spot for him to start in. Alex Krapser next to him. Then in row 7, Kendrick Cryer and Blake Wynn, some of the young guns, perhaps underdogs tonight. Row 8, Matt Pelletier and Zach Edwards. Edwards, watch out for him to be a possible contender. Kyle Bartos and Alex Gratz. Gratz also with a fast car in the heats, but starting via the top 15 in row 9. John Schwartz and Stephen Rex round out the top 20. Doug?
21st is going to be PDJ Zeller, followed by Greg Holes in 22nd, Robert Colgan 23rd, Joe Campbell, the leader of JNS, in 24th. 25th is going to be Nicholas Seams, Derek Colson starting 26th, Jose Gadino 27th, Sean Patrick in 28th. Albie Hewlin starts 29th, and John Friley in 30th. Jeremy Leto is 31st. Gerald Thanos Poole qualifies again this week, starting in 32nd, and Jonathan Bergeron starting in 33rd.
An update, by the way, pre-race, Matt Bear and Mason Foster are having internet issues. Matt Bear is not in the session at the moment. Mason Foster, though, did join in. He is currently in his grid position. No sign of Matt Bear. 33 drivers are ready to take the green flag here at the Concord Speedway, the mini tricky triangle. In the home base of XCAL Racing in Concord, North Carolina, we're set to go. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, XCAL style? You've got an Edwards high-performance car in pole position by the 18 himself, and a dropping bombs machine on the outside front row. They're off turn 3. It's showtime in Concord.
Aaron Hillebush drops the green flag. Everybody off into turn 1. Austin gets a good shot down into the corner. Everybody so far so good out of turn 1, but you know, Marty, a lot of times we see chaos hitting in turn 2. It just seems like that is the place where the most trouble begins, and we'll be watching that section of the track.
Took up around off of 1. Nice save, solo car accident, and we are under caution for the first time this evening. I gotta give credit to Sukup. That's a great save, but somebody getting a black flag on lap 2 early. There was contact with Jeff Edgar, as Edgar simply gave him the bumper.
Looking at it down into turn 1. Oh, yeah, he got yeeted to the outside wall on that one. Rough start to the race. And remember, in XCAL, there are no fast repairs, so any damage he got there, as we watch the replays by Flaming Karma Paint Shop, any damage he got there, well, he's stuck with it.
You know, personally, I don't think that'll be a lot of... There's just some right rear damage, but I don't think that's too much at all. And I think for Sukup right now, he scored in the 8th position. He kept the car straight, so I think he'll still be able to remain up in the front of the field.
You know, a bunch of people in the stands tonight. Let us know who you guys are cheering for out here tonight. And hey, take a moment, hit like, hit the share button. Let's fill those stands. See, there's still room in the stands, Marty. They could come watch.
Absolutely. So we should expect a black flag to Jeff Edgar, so he'll have to go to pit road and suffer a 40-second stop. And we have a couple of drivers that are in the pits. Jeremy Leto, Jonathan Bergeron, Jose Gardino hopping off on fuel.
Interesting strategy, knowing that they had one full lap completed. These were all 3 guys that were outside the top 20, but topping off on fuel this early, I don't know. You know, they're 4 laps into this thing, and what is this? We've got Jeremy Leto coming back to pit road. I'm not sure this is going to have a huge impact later in the race, but I guess you never know. It is XCAL.
And we're ready to go back to the green flag, reset the field here for you. Austin Edwards and Jonathan Bronson in row 1. Matthew Brinson and Jeff Edgar in row 2. Edmund Jones, Travis Sukup, row 3. Luke Turpin, Devin Landry, row 4. Kendrick Cryer, James Johnson, row 5. Keep in mind as well, Jeff Edgar does have to come in and pit as we're back to green. Drivers will be seeing lap traffic in an instant because Jeremy Leto just came out of pit road. As you see Edgar let the field go by, he is on the apron. Drivers nearly get into him. Very close when you think of it between the racing surface and the apron. Top 3 have opened up a nice little groove here, and the battle for 4th is on between Edmund Jones and Travis Sukup once again. Sukup's car still looks like it's driving in handy after that save.
It definitely is, and Edmund already up to 4th. He has a hot rod here tonight. The EHP drivers have a little something special. Edmund told me about it. He actually developed something very, very special for these cars to help them handle. Austin Edwards hopped in the setup and was like, holy cow. I think they found something that they'll be able to use a lot in the near future that is definitely going to benefit them. Unfortunately, I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. I can't tell you what it is.
I don't blame you, that's for sure. So drivers looking to go single file as of right now. Be patient. Matt Pelletier stuck up on the outside with Mason Foster in a battle for 10th. And Pelletier loses 11 to Alex Gratz there at the start-finish line. You know, Doug, when you come to a track like Concord, this is a one-groove track. However, though, in turn number 3, if you're up on the high side and get on the gas just right, you can use that 8 degrees of banking and play good defense.
You definitely can, and it is definitely interesting. It is a one-groove track, definitely through turn 2. I've seen guys make it work, and we saw it last season here, that you can get too wide and make something happen on the outside in turn 3. Turn 1, the only thing you can do up on the high side is prevent the guy on the inside from making a run, but until they get some heat up there, most of this track will be single file, although with the clouds out, with the temperature change, I think we'll see guys playing with both lanes here tonight.
How about Kendrick Cryer in the 48? Off to a great start, up 8 positions from 13th and 5th. Alex Gratz in the 17, he's up 18th to 9th, off to a great start at the moment. That Peloton pack, though, Mason Foster and Travis Sukup side by side. I think after the save by Sukup when he got on the wall, I think what we're learning is he's not going to have the best car on the long run. He'll have short run speed, though, but when we get into this run, that's when I think he'll start to fade back. And as you can see, you see that right front fender flaring out just a little bit.
Trying to get a closer picture on that one, but yeah, he's just enough damage to impact the handling of the race car. However, you never know what can happen. Sometimes that little bit of damage that seems a problem early on might come into play with track temperature changes. Plus, I mean, he'll work on it a little bit every pit stop, and I don't think Sukup's done yet, but he's going to struggle for the first part of this race.
Alex Gratz working his way by lap traffic as Austin Edwards continues to lead. Again, a 3-car breakaway at the moment between him, Jonathan Bronson, and Matthew Brinson. Speaking of the 03 of Brinson, last time he raced with us in XCAL Racing was at Rockingham, finished 45th in that race but disconnected. The last race that he finished in went 21st, a couple of laps down. And I think that last time we talked about him a lot, you got to go back to USA. As a front runner on worn tires going back to green, he was blocking the field big time. He did not want to give any positions up.
No, he was definitely doing everything he could to keep that car up front in the fight, hoping for a miracle. I don't know that that'll work here tonight. As we mentioned, you know, that one groove can be beaten pretty easily, especially if you're trying some tire strategy there. But time will tell, and this is definitely not your standard track with the triangle there.
Let's go to Foster and Jones in the battle for 8th. Foster with the preferred line. Again, watch the 51 closely here in turn number 3. This is a track where drivers can be side by side for many laps here, and they continue to do that. That's what I was talking about in turn number 3. You get that 8 degrees to your advantage. And I know this myself as a past driver in XCAL Racing. You can really go side by side on the outside for a couple of laps.
You really, really can, and I expect Edmund is not pushing it right now just because I know what that car has. I know what all these EHP cars have this week, and I can tell you that car can go faster. I'm thinking Edmund's in tire saving mode. He did say he expected to have the advantage on the long run. It just seems like he's playing it safe, but he can't drift back too much or he won't be able to get back where he needs to be. Time will tell, but I think he's got something for him here tonight.
Battle for the lead starting to shape up as drivers are in a wad of lap traffic. They go by Jose Gaudino. Bronson has closed in on Austin Edwards in the battle for the race lead. I think we're just going to see Bronson here just be really patient on Austin Edwards. Bronson has had an incredible past 5 weeks after the Irwindale situation.
Yeah, definitely not the... It's definitely been a great couple of weeks. Bronson, we've been talking about him a lot more here recently. And I think, we're not quite halfway through the season. That team is starting to come alive. They might be able to work their way up in the driver points and in the owner points, getting themselves up there, possibly challenging for Austin Edwards. But I know with Austin's dominance so far this season, it's going to be hard for anybody to get around it.
Absolutely. Austin Edwards, a huge threat for the championship. This season, he's got a total of 3 wins, hasn't won since the road race at Pocono. Last oval race that he won was back at 5 Flags on April 26th. So it's been nearly 2 months since he won a race on a short track in XCAL Racing. That's very surprising.
Yeah, considering how many wins he had last season. But remember, Marty, he did not drive most of the first half of last season.
Absolutely.
He came in, right about this race last season, and then popped off 10 wins in the remaining less than 20 races, won better than half of them. And he was up in the ones he didn't win, he always finished in the top 3, the top 5, so definitely a hard guy to beat both on the track and in the points.
Absolutely, and I think, if Austin Edwards ran full-time last season, we're looking at a completely different champion. No offense to Luke Turpin, but he's got a big challenger on his hands in Austin Edwards, and that's really been the big story coming on into the weekend.
Yeah, and there has been some controversy there too. Most of the time, those two guys are really, really respectful, really competitive. But I heard rumors that there might have been the respectful joking might have gone a little too far this week, and there might actually be some anger between those drivers, which could play out on track.
Yeah, I'm not sure on my end. I'm going to stay out of that situation. Let's go. Let's look at Luke Turpin anyway. Currently running in 7th. He's got about 4 drivers or so behind him in Foster, Krapser, Jones, and Zach Edwards. Driver ahead of him, though, Alex Gratz, currently the biggest mover of this race, up 12 spots from 18th to 6th. Great start for his race.
Definitely is, and Alex is another one that has come on over the last couple of weeks. Did not have a great start to the season, but has really started putting it together and making his move toward the front. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of his season goes. Talking about Austin, and he could have had that championship last season. Obviously, he has not been quite as successful so far this season.
The lead. Go ahead.
And it looks like he has got quite a few more challengers this season.
Absolutely. Jonathan Bronson, dominating turn number 3, pulled up to the quarter panel of Austin Edwards. Looked to the inside, but Edwards had banking off at turn 3 to keep the race lead, and they are in heavy lap traffic. And right now, Edwards is getting slowed up by John Freiling, the 57, and nearly got into him there.
Yeah, things are about to, business is about to pick up here as they go around. They just came around Friley, they just came around Thanos, and now they're back up in the thick of it. And for the rest of the race, the longer this stays green, the more the leaders are going to be having to battle it out with the lap traffic. It's worth reminding folks, if you're 1 lap down, you can fight the leaders to try and stay on the lead lap, but after you are fully a lap down, you have to let the leaders by, and that will play out dramatically at times later in the race, especially, holy cow, the 27 gets really loose. That was Sean Patrick gets really loose through turn 3, right below the leader.
Look at the run inside for Brinson. Almost spun out Jonathan Bronson in the battle for 2nd. But Brinson fights it back, keeps 3rd position. For right now, let's look at some other battles on track while we're at it. Let's go to Luke Turpin and Alex Krapser. Good battle for 8th at the moment. Mason Foster just got by Luke Turpin a couple moments ago for 7th.
It's something worth noting after seeing that incident in the battle for 2nd a moment ago is last season this race ended with a lot of controversy and a lot of drama. The second half of the first half of the race was really very much like what we're seeing now. A lot of give and take, a lot of patience. The second half of that race, it got a bit rough, and we heard a couple of drivers in pre-race talk about attrition being the name of the game here tonight. And it will come in that second half. That's when things are going to get rough, and that's when things will really be interesting, and we'll see who can make their way through the field here.
And just like Irwindale Inner, this is a very quick track. Drivers are racking off 17-second lap times at the moment. This is a race of patience. And that's like that normally when you go to a short track race in general. You got to be patient. Yes, you may be faster than the other guy. He may be right in front of you, but you got to be very patient. It's a long race. Again, 350 laps here tonight. So, Craps are looking inside on Turpin. Battle for 8th.
Crapser finally gets the nose in. He had been working it for a while, and finally gets down there. He's got Zach Edwards right behind him, so Turpin knows if that door gets open, if Crapser gets in there, he's going to lose. Turpin shoots to the bottom. He knows he can't let them to the inside.
And I think he may just give Crapser P8 at the moment. Turpin may be saving stuff, which, you know, obviously Turpin is known for. Oh, we got smoke in turn 3. One car got loose. That was Jonathan Bergeron, but he saves it. Almost lost it. Bergeron's in the wall again.
Bergeron really struggling here. He's up 4 spots from where he started, but obviously once he got into lap traffic, trying to stay out of the leader's way. Oh, he gave the wall a kiss out of turn 3 again. The right side of that car is going to be used up if he does not find a way down. He finally does. Slides in behind Turpin.
Currently in the 29th position, 6 seconds behind Albert Hewins in 28th. Let's go back to the battle for the race lead. As Bronson all over Austin Edwards at the moment as we've completed 50.
Derek Colson just went a lap down, and it is really, really impressive 50 laps in here. We've had 1 caution, and how quickly the leaders are already into heavy lap traffic, and Derek Colson's in 22nd. We've seen this at a couple of tracks like Southern National, that once the leader gets going, once that green flag run hits, man, these guys are going to put a bunch of cars a lap down. It could be a race where we see only 2 or 3 cars left on the lead lap by the time it's all said and done.
Well, the next car the leaders are working on is Jeff Edgar. Remember, he's in 32nd. Many laps down after having to serve the black flag for causing the first yellow flag of this race. You know, when we went to a small track the last time by, like for example, Irwindale Inner, there was one man that kept getting beat up and really had the big rage and had a lot of thin skin at the Irwindale Speedway. That was Jeremy Leto in the 1. How do you think his temper has improved today?
Well, you know, he's in a wad of cars. He doesn't look like he has taken a lot of a beating yet, but this is the kind of race that is going to cause tempers to flare. This is that kind of track, and as the sun goes down, tempers tend to rise, and Leto is probably going to end up, he won't be the only one, but he'll lose it.
We got a good race happening for 6 at the moment. Mason Foster just passed Alex Gratz, and just before we cut to the shot, Alex Gratz and Alex Crapser made a little contact. Almost spun the cars out. They save it, though.
Let's see if we can go to a replay of that, thanks to the Flaming Karma paint shop. Mason down to the bottom. It looks like Alex really pushed up the track there. They go side by side, but neither of them giving an inch. In fact, it looked like Alex was trying to come down, really pinch him. And they stay side by side for the better part of a lap. Let's see. Yo, Mason gets a push. Alex kisses the wall again. And there's some contact. Things are definitely starting to take a turn as tire wear becomes an issue. Back live with Mason Foster. As tire wear becomes an issue, cars will start to slide and things are going to get interesting.
Meanwhile, leaders are still in heavy lap traffic with drivers side by side. Edwards got to be careful to weave his way through. That's Kyle Bartels and Travis Sukup they're catching up to. Not been good for Sukup ever since spinning out. Restar, though, in the front of the field. He's all the way back to 19th. Here we go for the lead. Bronson inside. No. Let's Edwards have the corner. This is also what the top two want because Brinson's still stuck in lap traffic. Now a half second back on Bronson in second.
Yeah, they are absolutely loving lap traffic at the moment. They've got one more car before they're going to be back in clear traffic, and it looks like Austin's going to get down to the bottom and get around. So they'll have a little bit of clean track, probably 3 or 4 laps worth before they hit any more lap traffic. It'll give them a chance to put more time on Brinson.
Good battle once again. Let's go back to 6th. Alex Krapser and Mason Foster. They were just side by side a moment ago. Foster's off to a good start, up 3 positions, and when we were watching him in the heat races, he was moving his way up through the field.
Craps are also up 6 spots, so both of these guys also teammates, so, you know, they have to be... Oh, a spin right in front of them.
And that is Leto, and
Oh!
Foster plows into him. And that's the second yellow of the race, as Jeremy Leto got a little bit of help from Thanos Poole.
Looks like he was already a little off when he got into the turn. That car was a little sideways. Gerald there just barely taps him, and he goes around, ends up right in front of Foster. That has got to be a heartbreaker for Mason Foster. Try and get a look at that car and see how badly it's got some nose damage. Fortunately, 0.4 of a mile. Aero, not a huge deal here as we see the first pit stops of the day.
Right front damage to the 96 as he keeps it out there for right now. Leaders, though, are in pit road, and we'll watch and see who wins this battle out of the pits.
A lot more drivers staying out than what I would have expected here in the early going, but they know restart's the most dangerous part of this race, and you know, especially with the mix between the lap cars and the lead lap cars, there's no telling. No, here we come. Second lap of pit stops. Everybody's coming. Except for Luke Turpin.
Because it's Luke Turpin. Jonathan Bronson with a faster pit stop by 6 seconds. As of now, is the leader. Not sure about that strategy. But while we are at it, we'll talk about it when we come back. As the top 3 currently stay out for right now, we should expect them in shortly. Stay with us here at Concord as they do come in this time.
XCAL Racing.
We are back, and we are right on time to come back to green. Austin Edwards, Kendrick Cryer, row 1. Matt Pelletier is in 3rd, with Jonathan Bronson next to him in 4th. Edmund Jones is 5th. Zach Edwards 6th. Joe Campbell 7th. Travis Sukup 8th. Devin Laundrie is 9th. And 10th, Mason Foster. Gerald Poole had the black flag. Edmund Jones, Joe Campbell, Travis Sukup were waived. We're back to green.
Down into turn 1, Austin gets another great restart out to the lead. Now has Kendrick Cryer behind him. This is the highest Kendrick has ran.
Oh, Bronson set it in big time and takes out Pelletier. Oh my goodness. They're not going to like that. Pelletier, knowing him very well, is going to be angry for sure.
Let's watch what happened with Jonathan Bronson. Off into turn 3. It looks like Bronson got the nose in. He pushed up. Pelletier comes down. Bronson comes out okay. Let's take a look at Pelletier and how hard did he take a hit on this one.
This was head on. This was pretty good.
Let's see. Down through turn 2. Turn 2, really the point in the track where you're the most unstable, trying to settle in, and oh! Yeah, that was a hard hit, and then I believe it was a 560, clipped him from behind immediately thereafter, so a rough night.
That was Nicholas Seams, so... And because of that, by the way, you want to know who gets lucky in all of this? I believe Gerald Poole will get lucky in all of this, because he won't have to serve a black flag. He'll go to the end of the longest line. XCAL Racing will say, if you have not served your black flag yet and the yellow immediately comes out, you get to go to the end of the longest line. You will not get a 40-second stop and hold.
Well, he did get very lucky. Does that give him the chance? Now he will get an opportunity to try and fight his way back onto the lead lap. Only a couple of laps down, so this is a start. Potentially the start of him making a comeback.
A lot of drivers, though, currently in the pits. We are about to figure this out here.
You know,
and the racing deal has been interested. Sorry, Doug. Racing deal has been between Bronson and Pelletier, and I think they say one came up, the other one came down, and we're about to give you the waiver rounds here in just a moment. They'll belong to Alex Gratz, Luke Turpin, and Nicholas Seams. Meanwhile, while we're at it, make sure you check out the XCAL Racing web shop at xcalracing.com/shop. Many new products, including an XCAL rain delay sticker sheet, which is technically a Joe Campbell sticker, as well as a 5-wide wheel PD White glossy mug, and then, of course, an XCAL Racing pillowcase.
You know, throughout all of this, a guy that did go to pit road, did have a full pit stop, and has really taken advantage here is Joe Campbell, up 20 spots, now in 4th place.
Just had the wave around a moment ago and now gets to restart near the front, so from the rear of the field up to the front of the field.
Great job by Joe. Always, last season he really struggled, but this season that J&S team has really come to life, and Joe has been a great leader to that team.
So still under pacing. Tonight's race as well is also brought to you by Butt Kicker, champion of the XCAL Racing $5 Tuesday Series, will receive a Butt Kicker Gamer 3. In the world of sim racing, Butt Kicker haptic transducers bring tactile feedback to your sim racing experience, delivering the missing car-to-driver connection so you can drive faster, feel every gear shift, rumble strip, and tire slip with precision accuracy. Use code XCAL2022 before the end of the year to save 20% off your purchase at thebuttkicker.com. Ready to go back to green, it's Austin Edwards, Edmund Jones on the front row, EHP teammates. Then it's Zach Edwards, Joe Campbell in row 3. Travis Sukup, Devin Landry in row number 3. Excuse me, the other one was row 2. John Schwartz, Blake Wynn, Kendrick Cryer, Alex Craps in the top 10, back to green as Edwards fires.
I'm a little bit surprised by that restart. I kind of expected Austin to hold back just a hair, let Edmund lead a lap, get some points for that team. Edmund's really been coming alive the last few weeks, and has some good improving finishes, and you know, I would expect to team work together to get him a lap lead. Hasn't happened yet.
Control behind them. That's Friley. Oh, we got a big one. Everybody trying to scatter. We got more. That is the 27 as well involved. Thanos, I think. And there was contact from Brinson.
Off into turn 1. Oh, yeah, the 27, the 03 gets into him. And as he tries to save it, he comes up the track, and look at the pileup back behind. A bunch of cars caught up in that. Albie Hewins is caught up in it. Gerald is caught up in it. Nicholas Seams is caught in it. Jonathan Bertrand, Jose Godino, and Jeff Edgar.
That's a tough break once again. I think we're seeing the cautions breeding cautions a little early after that long run. Patience may have gone out the window, but guess what? But nobody wants to see patience out the window this early. As this is our 4th caution of the evening, and Aaron Hellebusch has actually just told the drivers we should not be having 4 cautions in 84 laps.
Yeah, and once he was up the track, that is one of the downfalls to this track, is that when you try and save it, it is extraordinarily difficult. You end up, as we've seen in just about every incident so far, when they try and save the back end, they go up to the outside wall, and the track is not that wide, so as you go up, you're going to collect the cars behind you.
So, we'll get a racing recap here in just a moment on who gets the black flag, who gets the waves. The waves should go to Mason Foster, Robert Colgan, and James Johnson. And they'll get back on the rear of the field. The previous drivers that were waved around to the end of the longest line, they'll get moved up to the head of the grid. And we have our 2-2. And Brinson gets the black flag.
It was a really, really close one, as it looks like Jonathan Bronson is coming around. No, Jonathan Bronson back up into 10th. Joe Campbell still holding on to 7th. Alex Gratz up to 8th place now. Edmund Jones slipping back to 3rd. He will have the advantage on the restart, starting at the bottom. And if this thing stays green, I'm willing to bet Austin is going to work with him to get him a lap lead here.
So it's Colgan, Johnson that get the waves along with Mason Foster. Brinson officially gets the black flag. And we should be going back to green flag here shortly.
Gotta give it to Jimmy Johnson here. He has had not the best season thus far, and I know how competitive this guy is in just about everything he drives. But he has stuck it out, and every race it seems he's picking up some more spots, and I think before this season's over, we see him in victory lane too.
So wasting no time, ready to go back to green. We've completed 87 laps so far. Let's reset the field. The Edwards, row 1, Austin and Zach. Edmund Jones and John Schwartz, row 2. Kendrick Cryer, Devin Landry in row 3. Joe Campbell and Alex Gratz, row 4. Luke Turpin and Jonathan Bronson round out the top 10.
Pace truck is in.
Austin Edwards is the control car to fire. Once he hits the second yellow line, he can fire. And we're back to green.
Off into turn 1, Austin to the lead. It did not look like Edmund got a great restart on that one. And hey, look who is up in 4th already. We've seen a lot more aggression, a lot less working his way patiently to the front. Jonathan Schwartz back up in the top 5 already tonight. Last season it was Jonathan Schwartz is not discussed until the second half of the race, and then all of a sudden here he is up front. Well, this season he's been up front from the get-go, and I do expect a great season out of him as well.
Yeah, he's definitely taken advantage of pit road strategy under the yellow flag. He's side by side with Devin Landry, one of the few men to have actually win 2 heats yesterday. Here's what happened in heat race number 1. He had the heat win. However, though, he spun out a driver that was in a transfer spot in the race earlier in Jonathan Bronson. So Landry had his heat win stripped. That's how Jeff Edgar won heat race number 1. Came back in heat 2, and won the thing and had, at the time, pole position. Run to the inside, meanwhile, Kendrick Cryer on Edmund Jones for P3. Last time we went to a very short track like this, it was in Irwindale Speedway, and he took home the win thanks to a 4-tire call.
Yeah.
Can we perhaps see that once again tonight from the Edwards driver?
It could be. It could. It's such a tough call with this kind of track. You know, the tracks where you pull that kind of thing off are flatter and use the tires up more.
Oh, man. Sorry to interrupt you, but Alex Gratz had a close call. Nearly 3 wide. I'm not sure if Bronson got into the 17 of Gratz, but the 17 nearly had a big one break out. Let's go back to P3.
Kendrick's got his hands full of Devin Landry right now.
It's a great battle for that bottom podium spot at the moment. Kendrick Cryer, as we talk about him, pardon me, this season so far, having a great season at the moment when you look at it. Obviously, he does have that 1 win in 9 starts, 4 top 5s, and 6 top 10s. Comes into the season 7th in points for the 48.
And another great run out of the 48 in this race as well. Could see him being a championship contender before it's all said and done. He has had a great season, much better than what he had last season. Despite getting a win last season, he still struggled through most of the races. So great to see him being a lot more consistent.
Let's go to 10th place here. Blake Wynn inside on Joe Campbell. And he makes the pass work.
And I know Joe's got a lot on his heart tonight. Really hope to see that guy get a good finish. It would be awesome to see him get a win. That whole group has been so supportive of everything that has gone on, both with the members of that team and with XCAL as a whole. And XCAL has always come together to support them. So we're thinking about you, Joe. Good luck, buddy.
That's the season opening winner from Charlotte. A couple months ago, trouble behind them. Gratz gets loose again, and I think there was contact this time from Floppa.
It's really getting busy between those two drivers.
Oh! Lost himself. Bronson knows he is getting held up by Alex Gratz at that 17, and he knows it's time to get by. Around the outside he goes into turn 1 for 5th spot on the track, and Gratz moves up the track this time. Holds on to 5th somehow. What is the 17 doing? Bronson's getting angry. He just put the bumper on him. About to move him up the track shortly.
They are side by side going for it, banging doors, bumping, trying the old bump and run move.
Oh, man! Oh! Alex Gratz is getting furious at the moment. Edmund Jones along with Schwartz and Turpin are thinking, what in the world is happening?
Well, it does open the door for Jones, Schwartz, Turpin, all right there behind him. Alex knows he's got to hold that position. If he gets up top again, Edmund's there.
Currently in 6th position, up 12 spots from the start of this race. Let's go to another battle. This is your best battle on track, even though they're a lap down. For 18th, PDJ Zeller and Matt Pelletier.
They're fighting to make sure they are in a transfer spot to advance, or to get waved around rather, when the next caution comes down. And note that I said when, not if. The way these guys are racing right now, it's far from over, and I don't think it's long before we see that caution, especially with guys bumping, banging, and tire wear becoming an issue before too much longer.
They actually do have those lap cars in front of him. Behind Zeller, by the way, is Mason Foster right in 14th. Here's Petey inside on the number 60. By the way, a fun fact, PDJ Zeller, and this is a huge surprise to many, is the first driver to have his chat muted. I'm not kidding.
Whoa!
Yes, the VP had his chat muted.
That
That is a first for me.
I don't think it's ever happened before. I mean, Last season we had PD in the booth. He never slipped up. Granted, he had a slip up at the Pocono Roval, but we'll let it slide this time. He still hasn't paid his $20,000 fine, though. I'm a little upset about that. PD, I want my 20 grand.
So now Mason Foster separating Zeller and Pelletier. Keep in mind, Zeller and Foster are teammates in the JNS camp. Austin Edwards, meanwhile, leading Zach Edwards by 0.2 of a second. No Carling separating them as they work on Matthew Brinson in the 03, currently running in 30th place.
Brinson, what a rough start. That guy had just a great start to the race, had a great starting position, was up there fighting with Austin Edwards and the leaders, but has fallen back. This race far from over, though, and with the speed he has, I think we could see him work his way back to the lead lap and maybe back in contention.
Dak is right there on Austin. Does the 6 look to the inside for the race lead? I think he's going to wait till he has some clean air. But as of right now, they're dealing with the lap traffic. Brinson lets the top 2 go by per series rules. Jeremy Little is next, along with the 16 of Gerald Poole. Oh boy. Get ready, folks. The leaders know they have got their hands full with 2 drivers in front of them.
Yeah, things are about to get very interesting, and this is the point in the race where we talked about on these long green flag runs, the leaders are going to hit lap traffic. Once they do, they're going to be in lap traffic almost every single lap. The one, Jeremy Leto goes up the track, lets the leaders by. Now they've got to worry about Thanos just ahead.
Leto is going to wait. Let's go back to the field once again. We'll watch John Schwartz, currently in 9th of 10 positions in this race. Schwartz, part-timer this season, of course. This is a guy that has college classes normally. His 7th start of the season. He's got a top 5 and 3 top 10s on the season. And the last time I think he won, it's been since last season, and I think he got to go back to Phoenix.
That kind of comes as a surprise, but you know, with him running that part-time season, last season he was in the points contention for a large portion of the year. Obviously running part-time, but you got to give him credit going to college, doing what he needs to do. But still, hate not seeing Schwartz out here, but that does explain the bit more aggression we've seen in every race out of him this season.
This is a huge surprise as well in front of him. The fact that Luke Turpin is behind Edmund Jones. But gotta give credit to Edmund Jones. This 51's doing a good job, like you mentioned earlier. They've got a really good setup that they think isn't gonna beat anybody else.
Yeah, I don't think Edmund's done yet. I don't think any of the EHP cars are done. I think that the setup that they built this for this particular race, I think it was more geared toward the long run speed. And, you know, with a guy like Luke Turpin behind you, you know who's going to be out there for eternity on a tank of fuel. Having a long-run car definitely pays off. As Turpin goes to the bottom now, Edmund holy cow, Turpin got close.
Absolutely. Again, battle for 7th at the moment. Luke Turpin's a guy that loves long runs. Oh, somebody went kaboom. Somebody went kaboom. I'm not sure who it is. I'm looking to see if anybody has stopped on the track, and it's it's Pelletier. Pelletier in the 60 has blown it up.
Trying to get down, staying.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, he makes it off the track, stays out of the racing groove, toes the pit road. Looks like his night might be over.
That's like a 30-minute mandatory repair for the driver of the 60. Meanwhile, look at the moves Blake Wynn is making. Edmund Jones is up in no man's land ever since Luke Turpin got to his inside.
Luke Turpin goes on by, and Edmund Jones just can't find a gap. There's smoke in turn 3.
I think that's the smoke that came earlier from Pelletier, if I recall correctly. I'll take a look, though.
Danielle, I do not believe so. I wasn't made aware of one anyway.
And actually, we may have had a driver get loose If not, it was pit road exit smoke. And I think that's what it was. Yeah, Derek Colson was just in pit road. I was thinking it was that. Who was in pit road for a long, long time and is only completed 90 laps at the moment.
That's a rough one for Derek. He's had some bad luck this season. For a guy who was up challenging for wins last season more than once, definitely Colson not having a great season here.
Matt Pelletier, by the way, is out of the car. He is done for the day. Look at this. Kendrick Cryer using a lap car now. Behewins as a pick to get by Devin Landry for third. That was a great move for the 48.
Let's take a look at that pass now. See how he does it. Using that, sees the lap car up top, gets the nose in into turn one. It looked like they were going to try and make it 3 wide, but Landry wisely backs out of it, drops back into fourth, and now Kendrick up to third.
We'll step aside and go side by side. 130 complete. Austin and Zach 1 and 2. Kendrick Cryer third. Devin Landry fourth, and Jonathan Bronson fifth. If trouble breaks out, we'll break in. Stay with us. One 138 laps complete here at Concord as we continue on with live coverage of the Don't Be Jelly XCALs at Concord 350. I don't know who the heck came up with that name, but I'm glad I don't make the names.
Sounds like a PD name, if we're honest. That just strikes me as a PDJ Zeller name.
Knowing Aaron well, I think that's an Aaron name, so I'm not too sure.
It's a coin toss between those two. I think they might have a list of funny names after a party one night, and then they use a dartboard to pick what it's going to be.
Absolutely, that's probably what they do at the moment. So, oh, they got trouble in front of the leaders, and they save it. Somebody got loosey-goosey in turn number 3, and I think it was the 960 of Nicholas Seams who came in a little too hot, and he did. Dirt track it in the corner.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that later in the run. These guys going, pushing as hard as they can, especially these guys further back in the field, trying to make something happen here.
Good battle on the line once again for P3. Cryer and Landry have been having a fun duel at the moment. Landry's got the run, just got up to the quarter panel. Kendrick just gets down in time.
Kendrick definitely shut the door on that run, but I don't know how much longer he can hold Landry off. He managed to get by Landry using the lap car as a pick, but now Kendrick has some clean air ahead of him And I think Landry might have the faster car here.
It's tough to tell, in my opinion, who's got the better car on the short and the long run. You would think it'd be Devin Landry when it comes to it, because he's really putting a lot more pressure on Kendrick Cryer. And then when Cryer got by Landry, that was on that short run before it transitioned into a long run.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can see Landry really closes the gap, especially in turn one. He gets right to the bumper, just hasn't been able to get the nose in yet, but he's going to force Kendrick to make a mistake, or he's going to get the run he needs to get the nose in.
Let's go to 6. Alex Krapser just making the pass on Alex Gratz. The 17 tries to cross it over. Fun one in turn one.
Ooh, a little bit of a push there. Everybody holds on to it, though. That turn one is really tricky because if you get it right, you can make a good pass quickly. If you get it wrong, well, you're in the wall. There's almost no in-between when it comes to turn one. It is such a difficult turn.
Doug, do we happen to have a Flaming Karma Paint Shop replay by any chance?
Of Krapser?
Yes, passing Gratz.
Let's see.
The first one at 5136.48.
Oh, the big one. No, I'll have to go look. Here's
all right.
There's
Gratz,
the crossover move.
Yep, that's it.
That was it. Yeah, he gets by, and then the 17 gets the nose back in. I wonder how many times we're going to see that one tonight.
By the way, pit stops, green flag pit stops are underway for the first time today. Alex Gratz just brought his 17 in. Mason Foster is next. Now, when you think of that,
we've got a car spinning in the middle of turn two, right by the leaders. I couldn't tell who it was. Trying to look through the field and see who that was.
I think Sean Patrick may have made contact with somebody. I'm not too sure who it was. Oh, that was the 19, Greg Holes. There was contact from Nicholas Seams, and somehow he saved it. Greg Holes currently in 17th on track, by the way.
Not sure. I don't see any damage on Hole's car. I don't think he got any contact other than just a little bit there trying to get by. Bronson comes by him cleanly, but you got to give him credit. That was a great save. He had all the way through turn two, had smoke everywhere, and it was right in front of Austin Edwards. You know Austin's got to be a little bit worried.
Absolutely. Now going back to my point, now that we have green flag pit stops happening, there's one guy that you gotta think of that's been saving his stuff, Luke Turpin. This is his time, because when he pits later, either he gets the yellow and assumes the lead, or he comes out and is back a couple of spots. And we got one actually that went around in turn two, Mason Foster, as Turpin nearly got that yellow.
Let's see if Foster, I thought he might have been trying to go to pit road and just missed. It is definitely a tricky track to get to. No, he just got loose off turn two. Managed to hold it down.
You know, that is a spot in turn two that's really been notable for cold tires. That's the fastest corner here, obviously. And sometimes you gotta lift a little bit in turn number two to avoid the car coming out from underneath you. That's normally stagger issues in turn two when the cold tires are in effect of that. So, but normally when you have cold tires like that, you got to lift in the corner.
Yeah, you really got to. You on fresh tires, you really want to push, but you have to let the heat build in them and get a little bit of grip. You could even, I don't know, drag the brakes a little.
Absolutely. Leader, by the way, is in pits, Austin Edwards. Giving the lead to Zach Edwards. Kendrick Cryer now comes in from third position. So, back to my point, Luke Turpin. Either he's leading while he's saving, gets the yellow flag to come out, or he finishes his pit stops, goes back in the top 10, and he has fresher tires than everyone else, and that's when he begins to charge his way up.
Yeah, I really think that. Oh, Luke Turpin is in. That is a surprise. We have seen
a smaller run than Devin Landry, Alex Krapser, or Blake Wynn, drivers who pitted on lap 84.
I'm a little surprised by Luke Turpin, but he did say earlier in the season that he gave up a little bit of fuel mileage to pick up some more speed. So we'll have to see how his season goes overall, if he is up there challenging for the championship this season or not, with a new strategy, and obviously very easy for him to switch back whenever he needs to. Blake Wynn now up to second, Sukup in third, and Alex Krapser leading.
First time we've seen Alex Krapser in the lead today. Zach Edwards, meanwhile, making his way out of pit road. Austin Edwards currently with the lead, out in front. 11 seconds of a quicker stop compared to Zach. I'm not sure if Austin decided to take less fuel than Zach or what it was. But from here on out, we have a two-stop race to the end. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure either. It was either Austin had a great stop, or he took less fuel, or Zach had a poor stop.
I don't think Zach had a poor stop. We're seeing times, some of these guys are having the exact same times as Austin, some are having the exact same time as Zach. So it is fuel load or taking left side tires, one of the two. But that 10-second difference does not indicate tires. It sounds more like guys just sat there and waited for that little bit of extra fuel, see if they could push just a little bit further.
I think for a guy like Austin Edwards, he may be banking on a yellow to come out so he can get back in that cycle with that everyone's pretty much on. Or he just wants to try and make sure he's got a lead on Zach Edwards, which is now at 12 seconds, by the way. That's a big lead. And Edwards is 1 second ahead of Jonathan Bronson.
I think it looks like Bronson might be a little bit faster than Zach Edwards at the moment. We'll see if he can close that gap back up. But lap traffic, these gaps are huge, but putting more cars between you and the next guy in line, that's going to be even bigger here.
Alex Krapser, though, so far, yet to pit on this green flag run. We should expect him shortly, though. I'm very surprised.
Here he comes.
And now he comes in. That is,
oh!
If I do my math correctly, that was an 86 lap run. So he'll have fresher tires compared to the leaders by 15 laps. That could be big.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful getting onto pit road. That car was all over the place as he got to the cone, and yeah, he was really out of shape. Manages to pull it up. Hopefully he did not get a speeding penalty there, and comes back out, and like you said, he'll have a very distinct both fuel and tire advantage. A lot of smoke on the track as a lot of guys on cold tires trying to push and losing the back end. We're seeing drivers slip sliding away.
Alrighty, so why don't we do it for the first time tonight? Let's give you a full field rundown as Alex Krapser is about to exit the pits. Once he does, we'll give it to you. I don't know yet, but let's take a look at the view from the blimp and see how the track looks at the moment. Krapser, by the way, cycles through into fourth spot in front of Kendrick Cryer and behind Jonathan Bronson. 5 drivers currently on the lead lap. Let's give you our full field rundown. It's the Edwards, 1 and 2, not related. Austin Edwards is your race leader, looking for win 4 on the season. Zach Edwards looking for his first career XCAL Racing victory. Edwards 12 seconds in front of Zach Edwards. Then you've got Jonathan Bronson currently running in third. A great day for him after rebounding from an EOL penalty in the second caution. Alex Krapser coming out with the freshest tires. He is in 4th position. Andrew Cryer having a good day, rounding out the top 5. Krapser and Cryer both starting from 13th and 14th position. Excuse me, from 12th and 13th position, respectively. Devin Landry currently running in 6th position. Alex Gratz with a wild day, getting loosey-goosey, but somehow still running in 7th position. Quiet night so far for Luke Turpin. He's currently running in 8th. John Schwartz finally back up in the top 10, running in the 9th position for starting a couple of races, I believe. And in 10th position and 11th, Robert Colgan and Joe Campbell, who are up 13 spots from the drop of the green flag. Remember, big race for Joe Campbell here after losing a family member earlier in the time. Mason Foster running in 12th position. He had a good start early on, but it's dropped 2 positions back. James Johnson, who just set his best lap today at a 17:06, in 13th position. Edmund Jones, who had a top 10 car early on in this race, has fallen back to 14th spot. Travis Sukup, who made a great save on lap number 2, that was the first yellow, is in 15th position, so nice job to keep his car inside the top 15. Nicholas Seams runs in the 16th position, up 9 spots for the start of the race. Kyle Bartos remains in 17th. PDJ Zeller running in 18th position, also a quiet day for him so far. Steven Rex in 19th, PD about to put him a lap down. Blake Wynn, after a good start for his day early in the top 10, has fallen all the way back to 20th. Doug?
Greg Holes, after a wild ride through turn 2 earlier, has started to fight his way back in at 21st. Jonathan Bergeron has quietly picked up 11 spots since starting. He is currently in 22nd. Jose Godino back there running in 23rd in a mess, but pulling on by. Matthew Brinson, who had the issue early on, went all the way back to 30th, has made his way up to 24th. He is on the move, and almost gets into the bumper of Jose Godino. Albie Hewins back in 25th now. Sean Patrick currently running in 26th. John Friley now in up to 27th. Gerald Thanos Poole still trying to recover from earlier. He is in 28th. Jeff Edgar had his best starting spot of the season so far, but has dropped back to 29th. Jeremy Leto in 30th. Derek Colson back on his way off of pit road in 31st. Matt Pelletier out of the race. Matt Baird, due to connection issues, does not make the grid.
The 31 drivers currently remain on track at the moment. Make sure you check out the XCAL Racing web shop at xcalracing.com/shop. Our newest products include an XCAL rain delay sticker sheet representing Joe Campbell, in addition to a 5-wide wheel PD white glossy mug and the hashtag #IMissPat short sleeve t-shirt, all on xcalracing.com/shop. If you want to be a super fan of XCAL Racing and support the $5 Tuesday series, become an XCAL Racing Patreon. Get exclusive access to the XCAL Racing Discord and more. Make sure for more details, check out patreon.com/XCAL Racing. Must be 18 or older to view their content.
Austin Edwards still in the lead, but now 5 cars left on the lead lap after the most recent round of pit stops. Zach Edwards in second, has closed only about one.
The smoke! Tire smoke, one driver nearly getting sideways and around. Checking to see who that was. It was Mason Foster, who wheel hopped it in turn number 3, but luckily just Tokyo drifted. He's currently in 11th.
Mason has definitely had an exciting night tonight, hoping he can continue to work his way back up through the field. But you have to note, there are quite a few J&S cars up here in the front half of the field tonight. Joe Campbell in 10th, Mason in 11th. Looking through the field to see who else is up here. They've got several cars. That J&S conglomerate really has started coming alive in recent weeks. Alex Crapser up there in 4th right now, so they definitely have a team to watch.
Let us know who you're rooting for in the race. We should give you a shout out on the air across all of our social media platforms on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Doug, I have been called out by somebody on Twitch.
I noticed that. I was going to see if you caught that.
Got Milkman says the announcer doesn't like Brinson, sounds overly obvious. Now, I don't say if I like or don't like Brinson. I'm not going to say I sound biased, but I respect all the competitors in the field. I'm just saying the facts, okay? That's what we're all doing. We're just saying the facts, all right? And all respect to Brinson. Trying to rebound. Right now up to 20 seconds. So that's a nice rebound for him so far after getting the black flag. Nobody on YouTube. That's quiet at the moment. And Facebook's still been quiet tonight. Hello to Brad Ebo, rooting for Black Sheep Racing. Matika Jones, rooting for Eddie. Joe Poole says, sorry Thanos was late. He just woke up. And, of course, Danny Sargent says, let's go, Joe. George is riding with you tonight. Campbell currently running. Where is Campbell anyway? There he is on track 11.
He's
and
having another consistent great night as the leaders are coming by to put him another lap down. Just another good, consistent run out of Joe Campbell. He got the first win of the season at Charlotte. He's been in contention every week. He's sitting here just outside of the top 10. After starting back at 24th, he's really marched his way up.
You know, something we should think of here at the moment, we have seen a lot more connection drop issues than normal tonight. However, though, it wasn't like Texas last season. It was, so far tonight, the only ones we've really seen are Matt Bear, Mason Foster, and a third one just happened. A fourth one just happened. Derek Colson third. Fourth one, well, he's not even in the field tonight, is Chris Johnson, who just dropped out. Jonathan Bergeron, meanwhile, entering pit road as Austin Edwards continues to lead. We're on lap number 200 at the moment. He has 5 drivers on the lead lap, soon to be 4. The Edwards 1-2, Bronson is 3rd, Krebs are 4th, and Cryer 5th. We'll step aside and take you side by side. Stay with us.
Howdy, partner. This is the XCAL Super. Howdy, partner. This is the XCAL Super fan. This race promises to be a good one, so I'm getting it. Howdy, partner. I'm so excited for next week's event that I'm shaking. Totally different shakes. Howdy, partner. You watch XCAL Racing.
We are back here. 207 laps are now complete at Concord. No change amongst the top 5. We just had something happen a moment ago with Jeremy Leto. Let's take a look at the Flaming Karma paint shop replay and show you what happened to the driver of the one in turn 2, who is now out of the race.
Down through turn 1, got a little bit of the apron there in turn 1. Just gets loose down to the inside wall. Manages to get that car off track before bringing out a caution, but definitely a rough, Leto had a rough start to the race, now a rough end to it as Jeremy Leto is out of the race, and Austin Edwards is about to put 5th place Kendrick Cryer a lap down.
That's insane. A great run for Edwards, has a 10.5 second lead. In fact, we actually just had a change for second while on replay. Jonathan Bronson by Zach Edwards. Let's go to the replay.
There goes Bronson down into the turn. And, oh, Zach Evans, he just went really high through turn 3.
It's like he just let him go or something.
Oh,
you know what? There was a little yaw entering the corner for Zach Edwards, and Bronson could see it and took advantage.
Well, sometimes you just, by watching the other driver, you can find that way around. He saw the mistake coming before it happened, and bingo, he gets that spot.
Absolutely. While we are at it, by the way, we'd like to take this opportunity to welcome while we've got this long run happening at the moment, take this opportunity to welcome a brand new sponsor to XCAL Racing, the official sponsor of Victory Lane, Fuel Factor X. Those wondering what Fuel Factor X is a comprehensive fuel treatment. Other products have one or two of their components, but none have all of them. It would take many products mixed together to even come close to giving you the same benefits as using Fuel Factor X, which reduces emissions, enhances performance, prolongs engine life, improves fuel economy. Let's talk with the man in charge of Fuel Factor X. That is Mike DiCarlo. Mike, first off, welcome to Virtual Concord. How are you enjoying this race so far, if you've got a copy?
Well, I'm enjoying this race. Your guys' broadcast is better than what I've been seeing all week. I've been seeing the backside of these cars. Giving a great opportunity to watch a great race, guys.
Absolutely. How's everything been going with Fuel Factor X? And tell us a little more about what we didn't say about what Fuel Factor X is.
Okay, now, number one, I'm not the guy in charge of Fuel Factor X. That's my wife here. Okay, it's from a long line of CBD products that come from MyDailyChoice.com. And if folks would like to learn more about Fuel Factor X and the other line of CBD products, they can go to MyDailyChoice.com/DiCarlo's Buckeyes. DiCarlo Buckeyes.
Absolutely. From what I've heard, it's been an amazing product. And in Fuel Factor X, somebody said it increased in RV's miles per gallon from 14 to 16.7.
At this moment here, when you're traveling with an RV anywhere and pulling anything, any improvement in fuel mileage is drastic and helps you in your wallet, and that's what we're out to help people with. It's helping them in their wallet.
Doug, you got anything you want to ask?
No, man, it's just great to have you. When were we going to see you back out on track in a Fuel Factor X car?
You know, right now, I was just picked up with a sponsorship for KMUexcavating.com. Out of Avon, Ohio, and I'm looking forward to having them on my ride here for the next month or so. And it'll be about a month maybe after that. We'll see what else we got going on here, but I'm really happy to have KMUexcavating.com on my ride here for the next month or so.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on picking up the sponsor. Thanks for coming on board, and thank the lady in charge for us as well.
I'd like to thank more than the lady in charge here. I'm grateful she hasn't suffocated me with a pillow yet. I'd like to say hello to my mom. I'd like to say hi to my daughters, Cabry and Maggie, and my grandkids, Delaney and Peyton. Grandpa loves you. This is good stuff, guys, and have a great night and a great race.
All right, thanks, buddy.
That's Mike DiCarlo of Fuel Factor X and DiCarlosDanger.com. Developing situation, by the way. Austin Edwards has taken the number 18 into pit road. Now, if you remember, by the way, he had a quicker pit stop than Zach Edwards, and that was because we believe he took less fuel. Now we know the answer. He is in pits. He's on a completely different strategy now compared to everyone else. Everyone else has 20 laps to go before they are expected to come in. Austin Edwards comes back out, and he cycles through into the 15th position. Currently, if I'm looking at this correctly, 3 laps behind Jonathan Bronson. What Edwards needs to hope for right now is a yellow flag not to come out, especially during green flag pit stops.
Jim Johnson just came in from 13th as well. And speaking of a yellow flag, right after Austin hit pit road.
Oh, it could happen here. No, it does not. Alex Gratz cuffs the pit right in front of Austin Edwards. That got oh so close. We're still green.
Travis Sukup right here. Luke Turpin gets into the back bumper of Sukup. Just had more momentum off the turn. As Sukup manages to keep the car out of trouble down on the bottom, gets it towed to pit road, but terrible end to Sukup's night Alex Gratz, Mason Foster now both on pit road. We might be seeing quite a few of these drivers hitting pit road now. Austin may have outsmarted them all here. We'll have to wait and see if this strategy pays off, but you have to wonder. We saw Luke have that incident a moment ago. Fortunately, he is still going. He is now up to 6th. He's not running the same fuel strategy we're used to him seeing.
Now, thinking of this, by the way, just thinking of this, everyone we were expecting to come in at around lap 240. And that would put them up until lap 320. 350 lap race, obviously. And so this is still now a one-stop race for everybody else. Austin Edwards will just be the first to come in on lap 300 and hope he can have the 4 tires and fuel to keep the race lead for the rest of this race. So it doesn't really affect Edwards too much. However, though, he's got to be hoping that this race goes green for the next 120 laps.
Or at least until pit stops completely cycle through. That should put him back where he needs to be. But right now, Jonathan Bronson is taking the lead after Edwards went to pit road. And look right in front of him. That put Luke Turpin back on the lead lap for now. Bronson right behind Turpin, though. And Turpin's got to hope he has more fuel, which he usually does. But he's got to hope his fuel outlasts Bronson here so that he can maintain that lead lap and get back in contention.
Luke Turpin, by the way, currently 6th on the racetrack. No big battles that are currently happening at the moment, and we are hearing the leader is coming into pit this time by, so that will hand the lead off to Zach Edwards, currently 1.5 seconds back on Bronson, and the leader comes in. Pit road speed, by the way, here at Concord is set at 30 miles an hour.
Zach Edwards back to the lead. Alex Krapser now in second. Kendrick Cryer, who was on the verge of going a lap down, had Austin Edwards all over the back bumper. Now up to 3rd place for the moment. He has not been in for his stop yet. But Edmund Jones did give up. He was back in the top 10. He is on his way off pit road. Looks like he'll cycle out about 17th or 18th. I have to wonder about the Edwards setup shop strategy here. Are they all going to try and stop right around lap 300, make it a perfect run down to the end? Everybody can make it from here on one more stop. Zach Edwards is now in. Kendrick Cryer will assume the lead for the first time tonight.
John Schwartz is also in pit road, and there you see Cryer make his way past Zach Edwards. So Cryer with his first lap led today. And so we keep things going, and now Cryer makes his way into pit road. We'll see what Devin Landry decides to do. And he'll stay out one additional lap. Now keep in mind, by the way, with Alex Krapser, actually, never mind, Alex Krapser is already pitted, which honestly really surprises me, considering Krapser had 15 laps of fresher tires and decides to pit. Krapser currently in 9th position on track before this big cycle happens. And many come in.
Yeah, here they go. Jose Godino comes in. A lot of guys starting to dive in. Krapser now starting to pick up some positions here. Zach Edwards, Austin Edwards, both have completed their stops. Devin Landry is in, and it looks like it's going to give the lead back to Austin Edwards with what looks to be about a 3 3/4 second lead over Zach Edwards.
Leader is in. So Austin Edwards, you're right. Zach Edwards, by the way, just coming out of pit road. Austin with a 3-second lead at the moment and should pass Luke Turpin for second. Landry still with the lead by a lap at the moment.
You know, we have not, you mentioned it earlier, not a lot of comments here tonight. Usually you guys are talking to us. So let's hear it now. We have just over 100 laps to go. You guys drop in the comments. Tell us, who is your pick to win here tonight? Marty, who is your pick for tonight?
As of right now, with 110 laps to go, give me Austin Edwards. He's been the best guy here so far tonight on a different strategy, but I think that strategy is still going to work. How about you?
You know, I have to think, knowing what that EHP team has under the hood this week, had their setup, I have to think it's going to be an EHP car, but honestly, I'd love to see Joe Campbell get back up there into the top 10 and maybe get his second win of the season here tonight, just for the morale boost that guy needs. I know he'll be happy with a top 10 run, but I know it's more than likely going to be Austin. But tonight, rooting for Joe Campbell.
And what an emotional win that would be for Joe Campbell. Take a look from the XCAL blimp as we have a battle for 6th happening between Luke Turpin and John Schwartz.
And it's so surprising to see Turpin a lap down. Not surprising to see Schwartz up here in the fight, though. I think these two guys are far from done, and this is really a scene we saw play out a lot last season. Turpin versus Schwartz at the end of a race.
Absolutely. It was always fun to watch last season when those two went at it. So let's think about this, by the way, as we compare the last pit stop times here. Austin Edwards went 1 minute and 8:44 pit stop. However, Zach Edwards went 57 seconds on pit road for a 32-second stop. A lot similar to Austin Edwards at the moment. Do you think Zach's trying to pit at the same time as Austin here? And then they go to the distance?
The times that I think they are going to, because the times that we see Austin Edwards and Zach Edwards, that's the exact opposites of what we saw on the last stop. Last time by, Austin was 58 seconds. Zach was 1 minute 8. Now it's just a complete reversal of it. I think you're right. I think Zach is actually looking to see, hey, you know what? I can pull the same strategy off. If I follow Austin down, that gives me a better chance.
A long-term strategy race to the end. If that happens, oh boy, we would get a great race between the veteran and the man looking for his first win in XCAL Racing in Zach Edwards.
Well, at least Zach has the last name for Victory Lane.
Yeah.
He knows that. And look at this, though. Zach Edwards is actually being passed by a lap. Who is that in the 6th car? Zach
Edwards is in the 6th car.
Bruh. Yeah, it's been a long week.
I know. So, anyway, we've completed 251 laps, and it is Austin Edwards that leads Zach Edwards, Alex Krapser, Jonathan Bronson, and Kendrick Cryer. Under 100 laps to go. Stay with us at Concord. Under 100 laps to go in XCAL Racing from Concord. Next week, we go to Lanier. Start time 7:20 p.m. right here on the How to Suck at iRacing platforms. Close call moments ago for fourth. Jonathan Bronson and Kendrick Pryor having a fun battle. Let's show you the Flaming Karma Paint Shop replay, Doug.
See if we got the right one going here. They had some exciting moments, and they've been back and forth a lot down through turn 2. These guys almost touching on more than one occasion off of turn 3, and Bronson gets into him a little bit as they go off into 1. Kendrick goes up the track, Bronson clears him, and a car I believe it was Greg Holes down on the bottom coming off pit road. Could have made things a lot more interesting. What a battle these two have had.
Talk about something else we're thinking of at the moment as we'll keep you posted on that battle for fourth position. Let's talk about Alex Krapser, who's running in third position. Same strategy as Zach Edwards. Hit it on lap 235. Near identical pit times, both on pit road and on the pit stop. You think Zach and Alex are trying to figure something out to close in on Austin?
There probably is something there. They are teammates. They're on the same radio channel, and I guarantee you these guys are just doing anything they can because they know once Austin starts getting on a roll, getting multiple wins. We saw what happened last season. He gets on that roll, he's almost unstoppable. And the J&S team really has been coming alive this season. We have seen a lot of J&S top 3s, so I think these guys have figured out how to work together. I know they've got those setups dialed in, and I think that Edwards and Krapser are trying to figure out anything they can to have at least one of them in position to challenge Austin at the end.
Time to look at a full field rundown brought to you by How to Suck at iRacing. Doug, let's give you the top 20 first.
All right, up front, Austin Edwards has the lead, led the most laps so far, but Zach Edwards still trying to close in, and he is actually gaining on him at the moment. Alex Krapser, we talked about him a moment ago, currently in third place, also working together with his teammate to see what they can do with Austin Edwards. Kendrick Pryor and Jonathan Bronson at it again. Pryor up to fourth now, has the nose, and look at him go at it. Jonathan Bronson right there with him. That is the battle for fourth. Luke Turpin a long way back in sixth place. Devin Landry currently running in seventh. Devin has been trying to fight his way back toward the front. Jonathan Schwartz in eighth, the part-timer this season, trying to make his presence known here tonight. Alex Gratz has had a wild night. He is currently in ninth. Look who's up to 10th, the first guy to get his chat muted tonight. And what a surprise that was. PDJ Zeller now running in the top 10. Mason Foster, another J&S car, currently running in 11th. And Joe Campbell up to 12th. Joe has the biggest cheering section so far tonight. Let's hear it for all those Joe Campbell fans. Edmund Jones back up into 13th tonight. He had been up running in the top 3 earlier, trying to fight his way back up there. Jim Johnson currently running in 14th, another one who's had his season start to come alive here recently. Nicholas Seams up 10 spots into 15th. Kyle Bartles now up into 16th as he continues working forward. Stephen Rex, haven't talked about him much tonight. He is currently in 17th place, up 3 spots, having a very consistent night. Blake Wynn up to 18th. There has been a lot of drama around that young man this week. Be interesting to see how the rest of his season goes. Robert Colgan in 19th, still marching his way forward, and Marty's favorite driver, Matthew Brenson, has started recovering. We've seen him as far back as 30th, made his way all the way up to 20th now. I think he's got a few more spots left to go. I think he's going to get into the top 15 before this is over.
Albert Hewins, who started in 29th, he is up to 21st spot. Sean Patrick just making a pass work on Greg Holes. That's the battle for 22nd on the track. Holes back to 23rd. Jose Gaudino, who's having a quiet night, in 24th after going up 3 positions. Gerald Poole, nice rebound from him, up in 25th position. It's been a tough night for Jeff Edgar ever since causing the first yellow on lap 2. The fight back up has been tough. 26th position at the moment. His teammate and friend John Frawley back in 27th spot after getting spun out earlier. Jonathan Bergeron with a long stop in the pits in 28th position. Derek Olson running in 29th, the last car on the racetrack. 3 drivers that are out of the race: Travis Sukup, Jeremy Leto, and Matt Pelletier. Well, let's go back to that battle for 4th spot between Kendrick Cryer and Jonathan Bronson. It continues to be a good one.
Yeah, these guys really going at it. I don't know that they've been pretty gentle on it so far tonight, but despite a lot of door banging, there's been a little give and take there. But I think as we get into the last 50 laps, I think the give and take's going to go away. Hey,
Let's have another good battle. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, huge shout out. Hey, Chance Maderick, great to see you, buddy. Danielle, and I did mention this as we did the full field rundown. Joe Campbell definitely has the biggest cheering section here tonight, and everybody is rooting for him.
We've got another good battle happening for 6. Luke Turpin and Devin Landry. Who would have thought we would see Devin Landry battling Superman?
That is a bit crazy. Landry's having an awesome night, though. Last few races, he has started to figure something out. Turpin drops to the bottom. We've seen Turpin do this a couple times tonight. He wants to let somebody by. He just drops to the bottom down the front stretch, gives them a little bit of room, lets them by. That's how Superman gets up there and keeps those top points positions and stays in the fight.
Keep in mind, by the way, we are expecting drivers in around the next 15 laps or so for the final round of pit stops. We know that for sure with Austin Edwards because he pitted on lap 221 and he took a full tank of fuel. Zach Edwards, Alex Krepser, Kendrick Cryer. We don't know when they will come in, but we should expect it at around the lap 300 range.
I don't think we're going to see many guys past the 300 mark. I think we'll see everybody on pit road between lap 300 and 310. Just a hunch. We've seen it in the past. Guys wait till that last 20 laps to pit, and it never works out. So I think we're going to see most of the drivers on pit road between 300 and 310.
We'll see what happens. Battle for the lead, though, is on. Zach Edwards is up to Austin Edwards. This is crazy. I don't know how this happened, but Zach Edwards was able to get back up to the 18 in this battle for the top spot. Zach to the inside of Austin. This could be the moment that could decide the race here.
It looks like Zach has corner entry and mid-turn speed over Austin. But Austin has the run advantage off of turn 3, and this could come down to that turn 3 exit. Austin trying to keep Zach pinned down, but this time by, Zach's a little bit closer. That car, we saw him from 2 seconds out. He just started chomping away at Austin's speed, and I think Zach might have the fastest car. As he comes by, Austin finally Austin tries to cross over. Doesn't have the momentum. Jose Godino used as a pick, and now Zach Edwards officially in the lead.
So Zach Edwards back on top, but keep in mind, Zach has 16 laps of fresher tires than Austin Edwards, and they should be pitting at around the same time. We're expecting Austin shortly, but what about Zach? That was the biggest pass of the night, and Zach Edwards has 60 laps to try and get his first win.
You know, looking at their
and Edwards, look at this, Austin
back to the inside. He is not done yet. And you know what's interesting? Their fastest lap times, 3/100ths of a second difference. That Zach is easily as fast as Austin here tonight, and I think Austin's about to have his hands full. If Austin pulls off the win tonight, it's not going to be easy for him to do. Zach is hungry.
Austin's still there on the quarter panel of Zach. He's going to have to drive her hard in turn 3 this time, which he does. Sends it in. They nearly touch off the corner. Zach Edwards can't clear Austin yet in the corner. Still gives the 18 space.
It's obvious Zach has the speed advantage up on the high side. Zach is just faster right now. Could it be the 15-lap pressure tires? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I think Zach might actually have the faster car here tonight. Austin's got his hands full. He had his hands full trying to hold him off, and he's really struggling to try and get any advantage on Zach here.
Got to step away, folks. We've got under 55 laps to go, but you're not going to miss a thing in this battle for the lead. We go side by side.
Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Super. Howdy, partner. This here's Higgins, the XCAL Super. Woo! This race is promising to be a doozy, so I'm getting busy. Woo! Howdy, partner. I'm so excited for next week's event that I'm shaking. Totally different shakes. Howdy, partner. We watch XCAL Racing. Woo!
Pit stops are happening for the leaders. Austin Edwards comes in first. Zach Edwards comes in second. And this could be the race if we go green to the end. Money stop is on the line. Austin Edwards, we're watching his pit. Remember, keep in mind, he has got the final pit box. Zach Edwards has a long drive out.
But Zach has an eye on Austin. He'll be able to keep a close eye on what Austin...
Austin's out 28-15 for Austin Edwards. 52 seconds in the pits. A much longer stop for Zach Edwards. He exits with a 29.90.
He took left side tires on that stop. We saw left
Oh
side
my goodness. And Austin Edwards comes through and he's the leader with under 50 laps to go. 1.5 seconds in front of Zach Edwards.
But you know what? Those left side tires could really pay off for Zach here, especially with the lap traffic they both have to navigate. And Zach was obviously faster there at the end of the run. This is going to be a long run. It could come down to, however, you've got an EHP car. Nope. Edmund moves up the track, lets Zach by.
And something else to keep in mind, if we do get a yellow, this is going to help one man, and that is Jonathan Bronson, the only driver that is yet to pit amongst the leaders. If we get a caution, Bronson may not be the leader when we come back to the green flag. However, though, he will still be on the lead lap and have the freshest tires of the bunch.
Currently the only car on the lead lap. That's worth mentioning. If the caution comes out in the next few laps, he would actually end up with only 3 other cars on the lead lap. It'd be Austin, Zach, and Alex Krapser. So
Unless
that could
the yellow
come into
came
play
out
as well.
Yeah, unless the yellow would possibly come out right now.
Oh, Bronson's on pit road.
That's a tough break. Locks it up coming in. He came in way too hot.
I thought so too. I would not be surprised if he gets a speeding penalty.
Pit road speed is 30 miles an hour here. Remember, it's at the yellow cone, luckily. And he came in at 40 miles an hour, I think.
Oh.
I think he's going to get penalized.
Meanwhile, Zach just cleared Jose Godino, currently 2.5 seconds back from Austin Edwards, but we saw him run Austin down from further back, and Austin has Derek Colson right in front of him, several lap cars right there, and Zach just does not have as much traffic.
Bronson is out of the pits. Comes out in a battle for third with Alex Krapp, so I'm going to watch him closely to see if he does come down pit road again, because if he does, you know he's got a penalty for speeding.
He might have pulled it off because that there's two cones at this pit road. There's the orange cone at the wall and the yellow slowdown cone a little bit further back there. I think he pulled it off.
And I think he does, and he has got 13 laps of fresher tires compared to Krapser. 8 laps of fresher tires compared to the Edward boys. Oh, and he caught the wall, though. He caught the wall off of turn 2, scuffs the paint, but shouldn't be a big deal.
No, it doesn't even seem to slow him down that much. His lap time was just about a 0.5 tenth slower that time, but not a huge impact. Meanwhile, speaking of lap times, Zach Edwards, 1.5 tenths faster than Austin right now.
Keep that in mind. And then Jonathan Bronson, last time by at the line, was faster than both the Edward boys.
Yes, he was.
That could come into handy, too.
1/10 of a second faster than Zach Edwards, 2 tenths faster than Austin. Bronson, with the fuel, with the fresher tires, with that quick pit stop, he might not be done with this one yet. We could see Bronson get the win tonight.
Alex Gratz, the teammate of Austin Edwards, lets him go by. By the way, we are taking you right to the finish without any commercials.
With 33 laps left to go, and the top 3 only separated by 2.8 seconds, and Jonathan Bronson right now consistently 1/10 faster than the 2 leaders, often 2/10 of a second, like the last lap. This is far from over. This gap is closing.
Let's go to 17th as Stephen Rex just passed Albert Hewins for that position. It's been a while, by the way, since we've talked about a mid-pack battle.
Well, Stephen Rex, Albie Hewins going at it together. Kyle Bartles out there in 19th, kind of off alone. There's a lot of gaps in this pack as guys are trying to get moved around and make sure they don't impact the lead lap battle. So not a lot going on out there at the moment.
Zach and Jonathan just about 1/10 faster than Austin Edwards last time by. And so at this rate, they would be in striking distance in the next 10 to 15 laps or so.
Zach Edwards last time by just turned that car. Oh, Zach is in trouble. He's got Godino and another
That's
lap.
not what he wants.
No, because the way he came off turn 3 just a couple of laps ago, that boy is sending it tonight, and he has got a car to get it done.
And you know Alex is going to do everything to slow down Zach Edwards, no matter what the rules state. See, he went all the way as low as he could before Zach had the lane. Remember, he's got to let him go.
But he is keeping him pinched down. And
that last time by, though, Zach was over 1/10, just about 1/10 faster as well, once again. But the gap is up to 2.1 seconds. Bronson almost got by Alex Gratz as well. If they battle for second, that's big for Austin.
Yeah, Austin.
And last time by, Austin was 1/10 faster than Zach Edwards.
Well, Zach having to battle battle Austin's teammate definitely has an impact. But Austin has a couple of teammates right in front of, Zach has a couple of teammates right in front of Austin Edwards, including Mason Foster. So, you know, turnabout's fair play.
Oh, Albert Hewins merges just behind Zach Edwards and almost affected the momentum of Jonathan Bronson in what could be a battle for second here. Last time by again, Austin Edwards faster, this time by 300ths. Under 25 to go here at Concord.
Bronson's having a hard time coming off turn 3. Couldn't get the nose under Greg Holes. Greg moves up the track just a little bit. Austin still has not gotten past Mason Foster. Mason currently in 11th. And I think if I'm willing to bet that Mason has gotten word about what happened with Zach Edwards a moment ago. And I'm willing to bet he does not make it easy for Austin.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens again, this time by across the stripe. A 10.5 faster for Zach and Jonathan compared to Austin. The gap, though, remaining a constant 2 seconds. $21 left.
I don't think Austin is pushing as hard as he can right here. I think maybe he knows Mason up there, he's going to have a hard time getting around him. Zach Edwards back in second, can definitely see the leader and only sees one lap car between them.
Bronson faster by 200ths. Edwards slower than the leader by 400ths.
That's a
And
bit
this
of a
is a battle.
surprise.
And they're starting to battle here for second. I wonder what Bronson's going to do here, if he's just going to stick behind Zach Edwards and work with him to try and catch Austin, or does he really want second spot badly?
It's worth noting with 18 laps to go, at 10 laps to go, there will be no more waiver rounds if a caution comes out, and at lap 5, they hear Aaron say green, 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 no more cautions. So at 5 to go, there will be no cautions, and we saw it last season here. In the last 15 laps, we saw a caution. We saw some chaos on the restart, and we saw some chaos in that final 5 laps. Could we see chaos here again tonight? I find it unlikely just because the field is so spread out.
16 left. Zach Edwards bobbles, scrapes the wall for just a moment. Again, battle for second between Edwards and Bronson is what we're watching very closely. At the same time, though, the gap has gone down to 1.8 seconds, and there's the run inside for Bronson.
Oh.
Almost moves Zach Edwards up the track. That's exactly what Austin Edwards wants to see. The gap goes up to 2.25.
Bronson now up into second. We'll see which one of them has the faster car here. Bronson has been faster since he came off pit road. Can he clear? Can he cut down that 2-second lead in the next 14 laps, though, is the big question.
Yeah, remember, Bronson's got 7 laps of fresher tires than Zach Edwards and 8 laps than Austin Edwards. Gap is now down to 2 seconds with 13 laps to go. And again, I believe Doug mentioned this. 10 laps to go, no more waiver rounds. 5 laps to go, no more yellows in this race. So, from the looks of it, if Jonathan and Zach want to get back in this fight, I think they'll need a yellow flag.
I'm not so sure. Mason is not making it easy for Austin Edwards here, helping his teammate out a little bit, even though Bronson's up to second. Zach is still back there. Plus, look in front of Austin. He's going to catch a big mess of lap traffic.
Oh, my. That could be a big game changer in the rest of this race. And Austin still not able to get by Foster. They make contact at the line, and the gap is down to 1.6.
Oh!
And they rub.
I don't think...
Gap is down to under 1.5.
I think, yeah. Greg Holes right in front of Bronson. He'll move out of the way. Mason Foster, after that little bit of a tap there from Austin Edwards, he is not being very friendly and being pretty obvious. He is trying to hold him up. This is going to get interesting. And
oh! And that's not what the 6 or the 67 wanted, but the gap is down to 1.3 seconds. Bronson, though, in striking distance, and Edwards is in a huge wall of traffic coming to 7 laps to go. This is going to get interesting here.
I don't think Mason's done fighting with the leader yet either.
I don't think so either.
I think he's letting him know he's a little displeased.
Austin never even hit him.
Could we see some controversy before this one is all said and done?
6 laps left for Austin Edwards. Jeff Edgar lets the leader by. And now Bronson approaches the traffic. The gap is now down to 1.2 seconds.
It may come down to who gets the easier pass through, who gets through the lap traffic.
Oh, bad exit from Bronson. He is stuck with Friley in the way. That gives a 10th extra to Austin Edwards there that time. And Austin Edwards comes to 4 laps to go with more traffic in the way. That's John Schwartz in the 01.
The 8th place car as Austin continues to lay him down. 4 laps to go. There will be no more cautions from here. Austin Edwards lead 1.3 seconds, but in heavy traffic.
Schwartz catches the wall. 3 laps to go for Austin Edwards.
Bronson now 1.1 second behind and gaining. I don't think there's going to be enough time. I think Austin gets 2 laps to go here. I think Austin's got this one.
It would be a miracle for Bronson if he can gain 1 second on Austin Edwards. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Off of 3. White flag, 1 to go for Austin Edwards. Blake Wynn lets the number 18 go by. Bronson yelling, lap traffic, I need to get by. It will be his 4th win of the season, though. Through turn number 3, the checkers are out. Austin Edwards takes home the Concord 350. Bronson, a great second place finish, 3/4 of a second shy. Zach Edwards falls for 3rd.
Austin doing his trademark drift through 1. And back again through 3 as he gets his 4th victory and continues to open up his points lead here tonight.
A big win for the EHP number 18 team. You love it for Austin Edwards, and you just hate to see it for Jonathan Bronson, who was closing in very, very fast. I think, in my opinion, if Mason Foster did not get loose in turn number 3, I think we have a battle for the win in the final 2 laps between Edwards and Bronson.
It was definitely going to be a close one, but the cards fell where they did, and Austin gets his 4th win of the season. We could be looking at the 2022 XCAL champion if he continues the way he has so far.
Absolutely. We're going to begin by talking with our top 3. First guy we'll talk with is Zach Edwards. Zach, unfortunate final laps there. I want to ask first about the final pit stop. Just what was the game plan there compared to Austin?
Yeah, I just way over adjusted. I thought a shorter run would need to be a little freer, but we just fired off way too free. He didn't come out as far ahead as he did the first couple of times, so I felt pretty good about that, but just all in all a little short.
And a great run, though. I'm sure you'll take a 3rd place finish. This definitely has to help you out for sure towards the points. Talk us about as well that battle for second between you and Bronson in those final laps. And were you thinking about the game plan at the end was to try and work with Bronson? Because you two, of course, had fresher tires than Edwards, or not really?
Yeah, it definitely feels good to finally get a top 3 here. Yeah, I let him go, just not really let him go, but he was better than me. But I let him go hoping he would run Austin down and start racing, and maybe I could, I don't know, steal one or something, but just ran out of time.
Well, a great run for you. Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
Yeah, I got to give a shout-out to Alloy Wheel Repair Specialists. They're a great sponsor of mine. Everybody on JNS, Reaper Speed Lab for the setup, and just want to dedicate this one for Joe's brother-in-law. You know, really tough to lose somebody so early. So this one's for George.
We appreciate the time. Great run tonight.
Thank you.
Zach Edwards with a 3rd place finish. Let's go to our 2nd place finisher, Doug's with Jonathan Bronson.
Jonathan, what a night it was for you. You had a great run, and there at the end, do you think with a few more laps you could have gotten to Austin?
No, a few more, one more lap I would have ran out, but it was close. He played it better than I did. Congratulations to him. I need some learning to do.
I don't know how much more you need to learn. You and Zach Edwards had quite a battle there, showing a lot of aggression, but a lot of respect between the two of you as well.
Yeah, I had maybe 10 lap newer tires, so he just moved over. Maybe he thought maybe I had a shot at Austin, but I thought I might have had a shot at Austin, but I didn't really think I was going to. I kind of thought he had it won as soon as I came out of the pits, and he was 3 or so seconds ahead of me.
You still managed to run him down the way you did was really impressive. You and Zach both just great runs there at the end. Just you got to be happy coming home with the second place finish here tonight, though.
I'm definitely happy about that. It's a good finish. It's a solid finish. Good points day, considering how far I am back, so definitely not upset with it.
And, yeah, just another great run and having a pretty good season this year.
For the most part, yeah. But I'm 18th or 19th in points, so I definitely need some catching up on midway through the season towards the end.
Well, congratulations, man. Any team or sponsors you'd like to thank tonight?
I don't have any sponsors at all right now, but big shout out to Higgins for paying my entry fee and my incidents, as well as Petey, and pretty much everyone that just shows up, gives us a full field, and Aaron for putting up with us every week, and every heat, every lap. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for you guys for putting up the broadcast.
All right, man. Congratulations. Go celebrate with your team, buddy.
All right.
Jonathan Bronson, our second place finisher. And now it is time to go to Fuel Factor X Victory Lane, brought to you by KMU Trucking and Excavating, where we are going to talk with our race winner, 4th of the year, to Austin Edwards. Austin, congratulations on the win, but first I got to ask, how nervous were you in those final 10 laps with lap traffic and Bronson closing in?
That was something else, Marty. I've gotten into much of a habit of running out of gas while doing burnouts on the start-finish line. So, of course, nothing wrong with that, but got really lucky this race. We took a bit of a short pit earlier on and had to make a lot of tire pressure adjustments getting this car to rotate. Wasn't expecting such a cold track, so once we finally got that thing to rotate, we just started saving gas and kind of on a backward strategy to everybody else. So got really, really lucky that there were no cautions in the last 200-something laps of that race, and turns out it was just enough to win across the line by less than a second.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's what led to you winning this race, as Doug and I talked about, was the fact that you did not get a yellow flag to come out, because if you did, you would have been trapped a couple laps down had the other guys not had pitted. The final pit stop, you and Zach Edwards came down to that battle. Just walk us through your perspective, and of course there was the pit stop that won the race, you having a faster stop and jumping Zach.
Oh, absolutely. We just figured out how to lift nice and early for these corners and keep rolling through them, which saves you a lot of gas in these street stocks here. So had a lot of fun racing Zach before I had to dive down to pit road. Real fun side-by-side racing. Found out right there and then that I had a pretty good long-run car, but as you mentioned, if there's a caution, it would have been disastrous, especially if I got trapped laps down. Not only that, but the fact that I also had more of a long-run car than a short-run car. So a lot of factors played into today's working out good, but we're going to work on some speed for next week to make sure we don't have to count on luck to get to victory lane.
Yeah, next week we go to Lanier. Just give us your expectations on that race.
Be honest with you, Marty, you don't know what to expect around Lanier. Shoving 43 street stocks on a little bit of bullring like that, where you're surrounded by walls, things can go sour really fast. So we will need a little bit of luck around there, but hopefully we can qualify up front and stay in front of the chaos.
What do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
Well, first I gotta give a shout out to Ed Jones, dude. I don't know what this guy did to this setup. I've looked at it hours and hours at a time. It doesn't make sense, but this thing just rotated after I've made a couple tweaks to it. So a big thanks to the guys on my team. A lot of real smart guys coming together to make these cars go as fast as they go. And as always, thank you to JR Graphics and Design. Keeping us looking fresh on the track. We will have some fresh new schemes next week for this number 18 car.
Cone car.
All right. Well, what's up?
Cone car.
Oh.
we're thinking about it.
Absolutely.
Well,
we'll let you go. Enjoy this win. Congratulations.
Right, thank you, Marty.
Austin Edwards takes the win, celebrating in Fuel Factor X Victory Lane, which has been brought to you by KMU Trucking and Excavating. Well, this was a great race tonight. Let's recap the results here for you in this running. Austin Evers takes home the win, wins by 3/4 of a second, beating Jonathan Bronson in second, Zach Edwards third, Alex Krapser fourth, Kendrick Cryer fifth, the only drivers on the lead lap. Luke Turpin sixth, Devin Landry seventh, John Schwartz eighth, Alex Gratz ninth, PDJ Zeller 10th. Mason Foster 11th, Joe Campbell 12th, Edmund Jones 13th, Nicholas Seams 14th, James Johnson 15th, Blake Quinn 16th, Stephen Rex 17th, Kyle Bartels 18th, Robert Colgan 19th, and Matthew Brinson rounds out the top 20, Doug.
Greg Holes comes home 21st, Albie Hewins 22nd, Sean Patrick 23rd, Jeff Edgar 24th, Thanos comes home in 25th, Jose Godino in 26th, John Friley 27th, Derek Colson 28th, Jonathan Bergeron, last car running at 29th. Travis Sukup, Jeremy Leto, Matt Pelletier all finished early. Matt Baird does not make the grid.
Obviously, the pole position goes to Austin Everett, so he gets 5 bonus points for that. He also gets 5 bonus points for leading a lap. That joins alongside Jonathan Bronson, Zach Edwards, Alex Krapser, Kendrick Cryer, Luke Turpin, Devin Landry, and those were the only leaders on track for 14 lead changes. Austin Edwards also gets 5 more bonus points for leading the most laps at 295, so 15 bonus points throughout the evening. Best lap went to Matthew Brinson with a 16.766, so he'll have his first 5 bonus points for having the fastest lap during the feature. And the hard charger of the race, up 13 spots from 16th to 3rd, Zach Edwards will get 5 more bonus points with 10 more on the weekend. So with that, we look forward to the next race at Lanier. And Austin Edwards, Doug, said it right. You don't know what to expect. It is just a flat-out bull ring.
Lanier has been non-stop excitement every time we've been there. And it's definitely going to be an interesting one to watch this time, especially how much the competition has really stepped up this season. Next week is a crapshoot. It's hard to call that one.
Absolutely. So we will say so long here on the broadcast on behalf of everyone at XCAL Racing, for the drivers and the sponsors. Our president tonight, Aaron Hillebush, our vice president, PDJ Zeller. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Doug Burns, working the boards tonight, I'm Marty Sakalas saying so long. Congratulations to Austin Edwards, his fourth win of the season, and it comes at Concord. So long, everyone.